I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts!
Yo, what's up, everyone? How you guys doing? Happy Friday. We are live. Hope you guys had a good weekend. I always try to, you know. But welcome to anybody new who is seeing the show for the first time. This is the Power Up Podcast. It is a podcast, well, a show, but whatever. We call it whatever we want. But it is a show that looks into pop culture and just comments on things, find what's good, what's bad, what's ugly, you know, spiritual, all that fun stuff, and hopefully with the goal of at least bringing back those nostalgic feelings in terms of trying to rekindle that dying flame, because I think the industry has been infested with a bunch of woke garbage, and it is our duty to make it just to be entertainment like it was in the past. But who am I? I am but one lowly man, just giving out his 2 cents. But if you're new to the show, make sure to hit that subscribe and like button. Also, turn on notifications to get notified when I go live. We try to do a show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with game streaming Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central Time. And also in the descriptions, you can find my other social media, or if you're watching on X, you can check out my page, and in the bio you can find the link tree to those social medias. I am humble and appreciative of you guys just coming and hanging out with me. Hopefully I can provide some laughs, you know. But we got some interesting articles. The big one that kind of stood out to me is, I guess it was still going on, but apparently the video game actors are still striking because they're butthurt about AI, because AI is a threat to them, because it could possibly mean that a robot could do a better job than them, because heaven forbid they just stick to their talent and just provide entertainment as opposed to having to slap on ideology. We also have got some Ubisoft information in terms of, apparently they responded to a lot of the complaints about Star Wars Outlaw, so we can look into that. We also got supposedly a boycott of the Dragon's Quest III remake. And we've got some info about the old Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, just losing 95% of its players, I guess, since February. My gosh, from February. I'm kind of looking at the title right over here, because apparently, you know, in an update with a Mrs. Freeze that is apparently a lesbian, wouldn't you know it, doesn't actually sell and help things, because no one cares about that. We also have some good news, and that is apparently people have spotted a Legacy of Kain remaster. So we'll look into that. Let's hop on in, shall we? Shall we, pups? Alrighty. So first off is, look at that. I thought Pride Month was over, but according to these weirdos, it will never be over. Heaven forbid they just shut up and go on with their lives. But no, they've got to display their sexuality in the most debauchery way possible. We got Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League's lesbian Mrs. Freeze Season 2 update bombs with players. Game has lost 95% of its players since February. Well then, I can't imagine why. Rocksteady's Season 2 update for Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, that introduces a lesbian Mrs. Freeze. Why? I don't understand this. What benefit do you think you will get by taking an already established character and just reversing everything and thinking that it's going to sell. Like, come on, people. A lot of it obviously probably has to do with the fact that these people don't actually care about anything that they're making. They're just doing it to either make a quick buck or purposely trying to destroy whatever franchise they're bastardizing. I'm of the latter mindset. I'm becoming more and more convinced that's the case. So it introduces this retarded Mrs. Freeze, completely bombed, with players as less than 600 people were playing concurrently when it launched on July 25th. Oh my gosh. And it revealed that the Season 2 update would feature a lesbian Mrs. Freeze named Victoria Frias. So in a blog post providing details about the Season 2 update, stated Victoria Frias is an ice-cold, self-sufficient survivalist, sure, who has watched her Elseworld turn to ice as Brainiac's invasion took hold. By the time we meet her in Season 2, she has spent years as the last holdout of her dying planet, unwilling to leave her cryogenically frozen wife behind. Oh my gosh, so retarded. But after being recruited by the squad, she may have a chance to save her and unleash icy hell. This just doesn't make... So, wait, I don't get this. Like, are they trying to say she exists in this world? Because this is the first time I've heard of her. So the update went live around 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time on July 25th, with the gamer's official X account posting, maintenance for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has been complete, and the season of Frozen Hearts is now available. And then just pretty much saying, oh, you know, play it. Look at that. So according to SteamDB, the game only hit a concurrent peak of 572 in the last 24 hours since the patch went live. When's this article recent? Yeah, it's like July 26th. I'm wondering why they're... Anyway, so as you can see in the chart below, right yonder, the game had more concurrent players at the end of June and on the first weekend of July, and at the end of June, it hit a peak of 665 players, and then apparently it dropped July 7th to 633. And then for comparison, the all-time concurrent player peak was when the game launched at the beginning of February with 13,459 players. And then, wow. So the game has lost nearly 95% of its player base since the top peak. I legitimately think that the reason why there were so many people playing is they were going, man, this is going to be absolutely terrible. Like, I guess we better check it out. Now, I'm one for obviously, you know, being curious enough to be like, dude, is it really that bad? I can understand that. I would just hope that people didn't actually spend money on this. People with that mentality. Now, obviously, just because of the Suicide Squad in general and them just bastardizing everything, you're going to have the people that will thought that it was the greatest thing ever. So they're just going to buy it regardless. I guarantee you they're not playing it. They just bought it because they wanted to support the cause. So when the game launched its first season featuring Joker at the end of March, its concurrent peak hit 3,012 players. Compare that to this Mrs. Freeze numbers, and you're looking at an 81% decline. Not only are gamers not playing the game, but many of them are simply ridiculing the game for its embrace of wokeness. Oh yeah, I've seen Melee games over on side-scrollers. How do you go from one of the greatest game developers to this? Laugh my ass off. Or my fucking ass off. This is going to be the last game Rocksteady makes. Yeah, look at that. That just is awful. And then Gerald J. Jones, DEI kills art and sales. Very true. Danny Kim, no one asked for Mrs. Freeze. You guys are going to fail for ignoring the user base. We got Grums here saying again, DEI ruins game art. Endymion. I forget. watched some of his videos. I forget how he pronounces it. Sweet Baby Infected indeed. Like, come on, what even is this? And what do you guys make of Suicide? Rather short article. What do you guys think of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League losing over 95% of its player base? Good. It's another one that can be shown to people. Just because the game makes a bunch of pre-sale orders and whatnot in the beginning doesn't mean it's a good game and doesn't mean it's going to survive. And that's what the video game industry is really banking on, to trick people and to fool people and saying, no, this is what people want, is those very first numbers. Because to them, as long as they get the money, it doesn't matter. But now it's starting to bite them in the ass because shit like this is beginning to get a lot of pushback and gain notice. Suicide Squad, prime example. A lot of people are trying to say Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to do well, but we're seeing the pushback on that. The Last of Us Part 2, everyone just saying it did so well. You know, that one I personally think they really, really pushed to create the false illusion that it's like a fantastic game. It isn't. It's terrible. One's way better, but by no means is one a masterpiece as well. I've said that before. But I'm glad games like this are really losing it and are really sucking, because the AAA, you know, the AAA companies need this to constantly happen to them, for them to finally pull their head out of their ass and start firing all the assholes who are saying, no, this needs to be in the game, and pull out the weeds that are already infested into it. That's what needs to happen. And hopefully a lot of companies are looking like they're starting to finally wake up, or they're realizing, yeah, we really are losing money, so therefore we should probably get rid of this. Actually, before we do that, let's hop over to Ubisoft. So that was from That Park Place. This is also from That Park Place. Ubisoft responds to plethora of complaints against Star Wars Outlaws after gamers roast the gameplay. So they already roasted the main character because it's a piss poor representation of the model that they motion captured. And apparently the gameplay is garbage too. So Ubisoft, once again Ubisoft, responded to a plethora of complaints regarding the game after it released gameplay in the trailer. When was this? Okay, these are recent. I tried to do recent articles. Star Wars Outlaws publisher, I already read that. So Ubisoft partnered with IGN to share 10 minutes of gameplay for the game that was uploaded to the company's YouTube channel. Potential players were not impressed and made their complaints known. The video, currently has over 66,000 dislikes and just 12,000 likes. Oh, thank goodness someone figured out how to re-put the YouTube plugin back in. I think I have it. Let me see. So this is 9 days ago. It's now at 71,000 and only 12K. So it hasn't even budged from that from the 12,000 likes. Oh man, it only ouch. In the comments, players made it clear they had no intention of purchasing the game and playing the game. IGN single-handedly saving us all money, wrote Centurion of Terra. Former Bandit added, how to save 80 euros in 10 minutes. So here they are right here. Someone else said that thermal detonation is the worst thing I've ever seen in modern video game, LMAO. And then someone else said, guys, the AI is completely lifelike. It was just programmed by the director of the Secret Service. Oh, ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Someone also said, calm down, guys. This is footage from the Nintendo GameCube version. Oh. Is this another... Oh, quadruple A game. The explosion effects that was worse than the Uncharted 2 that came out in PS3 is amazing. Wow. Someone else said, the acolyte to mock the game, the power of one, the power of two, the power of don't pre-order. She runs like my 60-year-old uncle in flip-flops trying to catch up to his beer rolling down the sidewalk. My gosh. So this is literally just... All right, so they are really laying into this. 10 solid minutes of don't pre-order energy. Ah, yes, thermal detonators known for lightly pushing someone away. Canceled my pre-order after this footage. Thank you, IGN. Usually they pick exciting parts of the game for these showcases, but this had me skipping through the video. So then IGN attempted to address the negative feedback, pinning a comment to the top of the comment section that states, "We've noticed this video isn't airing at optimal quality by default. Please make sure to adjust your video settings to ensure the video has the proper fidelity." Oh, dude. We literally just read all those. This has nothing to do with the quality of of the video. Are they really trying to like redirect the criticism into saying that, well, you're just saying all that because your video player isn't at the 4K to truly like enjoy the game footage? Oh my gosh. What a bunch of fags. These negative comments were also brought up at Ubisoft's most recent Q1 sale report call. One investor from Bank of America questioned Ubisoft's narrative that the game was receiving positive feedback, and even questioned if Ubisoft would delay the game following the negative feedback. So then Ubisoft CEO responded to the inquiry. The game has gone gold, so the date is well confirmed for August 13th. And as you mentioned, we'll be showcasing more content of a very high quality, multiple hours that will really show the depth of the open world. All right. Multiple hours. So that means they're listening to the criticism on YouTube, because if they're only showing 10 game footages, then bashing it, and then at the first quarter, someone's like, yeah, it's getting a lot of negative comments. Like, what are you going to do? And all they can say is, well, we'll show multiple hours that will show the depth of the world. That is a key element of the promise to enjoy the exploration of the galaxy with multiple planets. So that will bode well for the game in terms of high quality delivery. It's hilarious because, again, he's responding exactly how how IGN responded in the comments by saying, well, make sure that your video player's like put up, cranked up to the highest quality. Is that magically just going to make the game better by adjusting the quality of your video player? Nope. Oh my gosh. So then the company's chief financial officer also added, we've said also for Star Wars, the level of quality of the world and the experience is really very high. We are really leveraging our engine, and I think people will love it. Dude, you can't even get the basic motion capture of the main character down. She looks awful. Investors did not seem to be impressed by the sales call, and the answer they got from Guillemot and Dugat regarding Star Wars Outlaws, as well as its upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows game. Yeah, and we've read this in the past show that the Ubisoft stock plummeted, over 12% within the week of the releasing the trailer and the company sales call. So these people, these high figure people are delusional. These people are retarded. Good. Let them stay in denial, because these guys are going to reap what they sow when they keep ignoring it until all of the stocks are just down. So apparently the price has fallen even further since then. It currently sits at 18.89, but had fallen to a low of 18.18 on July 25th. So literally yesterday, the company's stock price had fallen over 36% in just a year. And in just 2024 alone, the stock price has declined over 18%. If you go back even further, the price has fallen over 75% in the past 5 years. Oh my gosh. Yep. What do you make of Ubisoft's response to these numerous complaints about Star Wars Outlaw? Well, I've stated delusional. These fools are delusional, and they will do everything that they can to change the way they're looking at it. Game looks terrible. Oh, make sure your video players, set to the highest resolution, playback. Okay, it's like, no, it's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the quality of the game. Looks like shit. Oh, the pre-orders and the pre-sales are all doing really good. Oh, your stock's dropping. Doesn't seem like it. Oh, oh my gosh. Yep. Just hope and pray that they keep losing money till they realize that DEI kills everything. Bunch of fools. So again, another That Park Place article has to involve Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. So numerous gamers announced boycott of Square Enix's Dragon's Quest III following removal of male and female character options. Yes, we read about this before. Apparently now there's a call for a boycott. So numerous gamers announced their intention to boycott Square Enix's upcoming Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake after the company removed the option to select between male and female characters. Yes, I believe it's this one. Type A and Type B. It's this one. Ugh. It was reported at the beginning of this month that developer Square Enix was removing the option for players to choose between male and female characters and were instead labeling the character options as A and B. And then the person who pointed it out said, has no distinction between male and female heroes. It's labeled A and B, with A version appearing like a male hero while the B version is a female hero. Yeah, see, they're making this little minutia adjustment so that pro people who, will try to support this will be like, well, it's not that big of a deal. And then, but ultimately it fails because A is still a male version and B is still the female version. So all you literally did was still kept the two category and just renamed it. And if you're doing this because, oh, yeah, there's people out there, transgenderism and all that stuff, defeats the purpose. You're literally catering to those fools who can't just accept the fact that no matter how much they wish they were this thing, they're this. Like, it's insane, really. Like the talking points, oh my gosh, it's the same damn thing over and over and over. And the funny thing is these people constantly keep saying, like, our voices isn't heard, it's all this, it's all that. Here you go right here, and it fails. Games are failing, and they just default back to the same old name calling and stuff. It's literally insanity. Scripture-wise, it's Satan. It's the perversion from Satan and the fallen angels. And look at this. The one guy who pointed this out when this was first discovered also pointed out the fact that the A version is voiced by a male actor and the B version is voiced by a female. So it completely pointless. So on top of the main characters having their sex removed from the character selection, it was also reported that, quote, jobs will also no longer be distinguished by gender and name. These changes were confirmed in a preview for the game, shared in the weekly Shonen Jump magazine, as you can see right there. Okay, so that's the male. That's the supposed female. They're even trying to, give the female main or male features. Like, definitely you can tell the eyes have a more feminine look to them, body structure and everything. The hairstyle, though, I'm not getting female. Anyway, so following this confirmation, the game was added to the Sweet Baby Inc. Detected Steam Curator list, as well as Kabrutus's Rambo's DEI Detected website. And then on top of the removal of the option to choose between male and female characters, Kabrutus cites that the game also censored the trolls in the game by removing their lips. Oh my gosh, really? He wrote, on a much more personal and nerdier level, and this one really pisses me off, I must say, is the censorship of the troll's lips. For heaven's sakes, you want to know what's funny? You want to know what I think is funny? So apparently, on the Switch version, lips are there. This version, lips are there. This version, lips are there. You want to know what's funny? In order to come to the conclusion that these lips need to be removed, is that you have to literally be a racist or see the stereotype. Now, obviously, because if your first reaction is to see that and go, oh, certain group of people might be offended because back in the day, this portrayal was very offensive against them. That means you're thinking about it more than like I am, Because when I see that, I don't think that. That's not my first thought. I just see literally an ogre. Or I guess this is a troll. I see a monster, pretty much. I guess the lesson here is the real monsters are the ones in saying that this needs to be censored. They're the monsters. Furthermore, Kabrutus Ramble also notes that Sweet Baby Inc. lists Square Enix as one of their clients. Not only has the game been added to the Detected Steam Curator list, as well as on DEIDetected.com, but numerous gamers has expressed on the game's Steam forums that they do not plan to purchase the game due to the changes Square Enix has made. There you go. Someone says, no man, woman, you're not going to get my money. Dragon's Quest is my favorite JRPG franchise, and I have put this on ignore, says someone else. Apparently, it's gone on to say I played 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 again on the SNES Japanese version. Even paid full price, pre-ordered DQ11, something I never do because I have too many games already. That being said, I put this on ignore, and it's my favorite JRPG franchise. You win. DEI nonsense. I won't spend any more money on you. Square Enix disband your ethics department. Spend over $3,000 on just Square Enix games on Steam. I will not buy this game. Gamers are rejecting games that have even the smallest whiff of woke bullshit. Someone else says, take a little longer to remove the DEI. I'm not buying until it's removed. Don't buy over DEI. Dear Square Enix, no censorship allowed. This guy posted a very long one. Gamers urge publisher to respect original version and legacy in Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. See, and for me, this is where the modding community comes in. This is where the appreciation of the modding community, ROM hacking, patches, translation patches, and all that stuff. This is where it's really starting to shine. And unfortunately, shouldn't have to rely on it, but it's come down to this. If you want a pure version of the game today, you got to go that route. Or you got to snoop around and find which version is the less censored version, which you shouldn't even have to do. Like, you shouldn't have to do. And again, this is why they're remaking all of these already established games or franchises and stuff like that, is because they declared that what they made in the past is now wrong, and they're ashamed of it. And you come to find out that the people who originally worked on the game are not ashamed of it, and it's an insult to them. So why why bastardize it? This bastardizing of these games is becoming ridiculous. And unfortunately, this is where we're at. This is where we're at, to where we need to just constantly, they shit on us for like, oh, you guys are just review bombing stuff. It seems like that's like one of the ways to get the point across. What did Legal Mindset say? He said, not so much cancel culture, but consequence culture, which I think is a very good way. It's definitely an excellent way of putting it. We're not calling for the cancellation of this game. When the game fails and you lose a lot of money, you reaped what you sold. You received the consequences of not listening to the correct people. How many times does it need to happen until you guys pull your heads out of your asses? Now, it's interesting that they used the word boycott, because I didn't really see it being thrown around like in the comments, but I understand what it's in the umbrella term. But yeah, a lot of people are saying, yeah, we're not buying this until you fix it, which is good. Good. I've even said, you do what you want and stuff like that, but hopefully all the companies not only lose money, but, I don't feel bad when their shit gets pirated. Because clearly you don't care about the gamers. You don't care about the actual gamers. You want everything to go digital and claim, well, you don't technically own it when you have something digital. Okay, well, then I don't technically steal it if I decide to go sail the 7 seas. Uh-oh. Pick a lane, faggots. But, yeah. Hope. And the good thing is we're starting to see pushback from it. We're starting to see the fruits of the pushback being successful. Shift Up, even though Shift Up apparently is looking for, what is it, an ESG person or something like that. So that kind of sucks. But Stellar Billy did get a little bit of did get the censorship removed in the sense of it at some point. Tomb Raider 3 remastered, that happened. What was it? Apex, didn't I read somewhere you could collect points in game that could ultimately allow you to buy the platinum pass? In the latest update or something, they removed that. A lot of people bitched at it, so they put it back in. We're starting to see it here. So the ripples are starting to finally be more concurrent, and it's starting to become more tremendous, I guess you could say. If you're thinking of like the waves from like a hurricane, waves starting to come, and then slowly they get more and more extreme and stuff like that. The ripples, I guess you could say the ripples are starting to become the waves. Hopefully them waves are starting to become a tsunami. But there you go. Okay, and now we are on to one of the, if not the main articles that I wanted to read today that apparently is still going on, because I remember us talking about this on a past show, and now it's sparked up again, and that is the video game actors confirm strike action over AI. So SAG-AFTRA, this comes from Video Game Chronicle. So the SAG-AFTRA union had been negotiating with major video game publishers for 18 months. And video game workers who are members of SAG-AFTRA, the labor union for American actors, have called for strike action, which will begin tomorrow, July 22nd. So that is today. They have called this today. The strike was called for after the union failed to negotiate acceptable protections around the use of AI for its members, it said. So last September, SAG-AFTRA members approved strike actions if the union was unable to get terms it considered acceptable while negotiating the interactive media agreement. So they've been in negotiations with several video game companies and their performance production arms since October 2022, including Activision Production, Blind Light, Disney Character Voices, EA Production, Formosa Interactive, Insomniac Games, Epic Games, Take-Two Production, Voice Work Productions, and Warner Brother Games. Those companies now likely won't be able to hire unionized actors to perform motion capture or voiceover work for their games. Good. Good. Fuck them. They're expendable. I understand the purpose of unions, but the people in power of unions, they're the only ones that's going to benefit. They're the only ones going to benefit. They're not going, they claim they're doing this for the lower people, but they're the ones that's going to reap everything. Like, I'm so tired of this. This is so retarded. I've heard since I was, I did workshops and stuff and dabbled in trying to get into voice acting and stuff like that. I've heard it. Never really made sense to me because as far as I'm concerned, everyone's expendable. I understand having good working conditions and shit like that. Totally get it, but usually the people who push for unions like this, the people in power benefit from it because the lower people, and because it forces the lower people to go along with them, because if you don't, you're a scab. I believe that's the correct term. You're a scab or you're undermining the cause, and then you'll get blacklisted. So don't even associate yourself with them. I always point to the example of the whole Bayonetta 3 situation. Helena Taylor said she got screwed over. She wasn't getting, XYZ, so she got replaced by Jennifer Hale. She said the company didn't offer her a good enough thing or what XYZ, whatever. Turns out she was apparently lying. But what if she wasn't lying? Would Jennifer Hale suddenly done the union thing, the moral superior thing by saying, yeah, all those voice lines that I worked for, I'm going to step down because Helena Taylor should have gotten the XYZ that she should have gotten, blah, 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 and that I don't want my voice used or anything like that. And would she actually give the money that she got from there to go towards Helena Taylor for all the troubles? No, these people will not do it because they do not care. I don't get it. To me, in a sad, twisted way, everyone's expendable. Because to me, in the end, it's if you don't like it, leave. If you don't like it, leave, or you can find the way to make it work with what's there. I have no problems with seeing if there's areas to fix an XYZ. But how many times have we seen this? And yet it's never enough. It's got to be at some point where you're benefit, where you're satisfied. And the answer is they won't be satisfied until you're part of their group. SAG-AFTRA people do not like non-SAG people. They may put up a front and all that stuff, but to me, literally, it's like mob mentality. Not even that. Like, you could even bring it down to, like, high school clique. You're not in our clique, so we don't really like you. Yeah, we kind of do the same thing, but, we're more superior than you guys are because, Anyway. Some of the companies listed offer performance services for several game developers and publishers. Blindlight has contributed performance work to series such as the Elder Scrolls, Halo, Destiny, and Fallout. Well, Halo's gone down to shit. Destiny's gone down to shit. Elder Scrolls, maybe. Fallout, yeah, we've seen some pushback. Well, Formosa Interactive has worked on Call of Duty games going down, and other high-profile titles like Death Stranding and God of War. Well, we've seen what happened to God of War. Death Stranding, I actually still need a beat. Although arguments have been reached on many issues important to SAG-AFTRA members, the employers refuse to plainly affirm in clear and enforceable language that they will protect all performers covered by this contract in their AI languages, SAG-AFTRA said. President Fran Dresser added, "We're not going to consent to a contract that allows companies to abuse AI." What does that even mean, abuse AI? If you're demanding you get paid more and then you don't put in the work that's worthy of that payment, then you're expendable. You should be gone. Hone your craft and then come back to me. Okay? That's an option. That's what you do. Actors, when they get their first role, they don't just stop practicing acting. You know. Gosh. These people are ass mad because their laziness is being replaced with AI. Which is good. Work better yourself. Hone your craft. Do what you need to do to get better and get good and stand out above the rest. We know it works. It's been working for years upon years. No matter how much one side particularly says that one specific race always has an advantage. That shit's done and over with. So, let's see. So enough is enough. When the companies get serious about offering an agreement our members can live and work with, we will be here ready to negotiate. So chief negotiator Duncan Crabtree, Ireland, said, "The video game industry generates billions of dollars in profit annually. The driving force behind that success is the creative people who design and create those games. That includes the SAG-AFTRA members who bring memorable and beloved characters to life. Not when they do motion capturing and then the dev team like defeminizes them if they're like a woman or something like that. And they deserve and demand the same fundamental protection as performers in film, television, streaming, and music. Fair compensation and the right of informed consent for the AI use of their faces, voices, and bodies." I mean, once you sign that thing that says they can use your likeness, that's it. That's it. You don't get to do anything else. Unless it's like in your contract or something, you know? This is what it comes down to, again. All that stuff, they just want more money for when they sign away their likeness and shit like that. And a lot of people who are always like pro-union and stuff like that too, they're always like D-list actors and shit like that because they're trying to make it. The higher-ups are already well established, you know? A lot of them will not help the little guy. They claim they do because they're doing stuff like this. This is for all the people who are struggling and stuff like that. But when the time comes, they would betray them. They turn their back on them in a heartbeat. We've seen it. Frankly, it's stunning that these video game studios haven't learned anything from the lessons of last year, that our members can and will stand up and demand fair, equitable treatment with respect to the AI, and the public supports us in that. Frankly, it's stunning that you people can't realize that you're expendable and that the companies will literally go find someone else who will be happy to take it. Because I would hope that they've got things situated and set up properly. Apparently, there's an update. A spokesperson from the video game producer party to the interactive media agreement, Audrey Cooling, said, "We are disappointed the union has chosen to walk away when we are so close to a deal, and we remain prepared to resume negotiations." Let them walk away. Let them go on strike. Let them sit out. See, this is the one thing I kind of wish to see what happens, just because I'm twisted like that, I guess you could say. Is I just want to see all these people that are like prone unions and stuff to go on strike, you know, not work, sit, and all that stuff. And then all these like non-union people who are just like, yeah, I'll take that job. I'll do it for that pay. And then they get ass mad at them. Like, you don't care about the... It's like, fuck you, I'm working. I got bills to pay, bitch. GTFO if you can't handle it. Always seems independent's the way to go, you know? Yeah, it may be not you may not be a consistent, you know, sort of thing in terms of like finance and all that stuff, but at least you don't have to, you know, kiss the ring. So our offer is directly responsive to SAG-AFTRA's concern in extending meaningful AI protection that includes requiring consent and fair compensation to all performers working under the IMA. These terms are among the strongest in the entertainment industry. Well, apparently not to them, because they don't think it's good enough. Tell you who won't be affected apparently by the SAG-AFTRA strike: GTA 6. It's previously assumed that Rockstar's next game would be subject to the strike, but it's not. Despite earlier confusion over the status of the game, according to the wonderful and always based and not full of insane weirdos that want to physically fight people, Kotaku, specifically Kotaku reporter Ethan Gatch, a representative from the union, has said that performers working on the game are allowed to continue working on the project. Well, wait a minute. I thought it was do or die. Why do all of a sudden that these people get a special pass? It's currently unknown which performers are involved in the game, as outside of fans attempting to uncover the voice talent for the main two characters in Grand Theft Auto 6, little is known about the game's wider cast. Strike, which had been called by SAG-AFTRA, the Labor Union for America, began on July 26th. That is today. Strike was called after the union failed to negotiate acceptable protections around the use of AI for its members, it said. Last September, I would loved to like be a fly on the wall to hear like the negotiations between stuff. I would absolutely love to hear that. I just feel like whoever's representing SAG-AFTRA, like I can just picture them like whining and crying and all that stuff. So the strike was called after it failed to negotiate. Last September, it approved the strike action if the union was unable to get terms it considered acceptable while negotiating the interactive media agreement. They have been negotiating with several video game companies and their performance productions arm since October of 2022, including of all the people that we read off on the last one. So those companies now likely won't be able to hire unionized actors to perform motion capture or voice-over work for their games. Again, hire non-unionized actors because they will sure take it. Because again, unionized people do not like non-unionized people. They get ass mad when they swoop in here and take their jobs that they think they deserve to get. That's one thing I never understood. I never understood it. Because it's like, hey, by doing that, that hurts everyone in the end. It's like, motherfucker, I got bills to pay. Got mouths to feed. I'm not sitting down. Got more important shit to do. And that's the thing, is that they've established a control to where, you know, if you want to be in like big movies and all that stuff, you have to be unionized, which means you have to be a Democrat, which means you have to be pro all this bullshit. And that if you're found, you know, taking jobs, even though you're supposed to be striking, they'll blacklist you and all that. This is why all this shit is retarded. Why everything should just be non-union. You're expendable. You don't like it, leave. So then Grand Theft Auto 6 will be released PlayStation 5, Xbox Series. It's revealed the official trailer earlier this year. It has 9 million views, or it had 9 million views just 24 hours. Ugh. Yawning just because I don't care about this. No, I find it interesting, but just makes you yawn just because you're like, it's the same old song. But some good news. Legacy of Kain remasters spotted at Comic-Con. I heard the Legacy of Kain series is good. Now, obviously, what are they going to do to it? They're going to censor it. They're going to butcher it. They're going to do something, you know. A statue on display at the event makes reference to the unannounced games. So, apparently, as spotted by a user on Remaster, a statue of Legacy of Kain's protagonist is on display at San Diego Comic-Con, featuring a logo for Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered. There you go. Nice. Dark Horse Comics Vice President of Product Development and Sales, Randy Larman, told GameSpot that the statue on display at Comic-Con will be released in August and that more information will be released later. However, the company will not comment on the remasters, and the sign referencing them had been removed by the time it arrived at the Comic-Con booth. Ooh. So the Legacy of Kain series has continued to enjoy a cult following despite laying dormant for more than 2 decades. The original entry, Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, was developed by Silicon Knights under the direction of Dennis Dyack and published by Crystal Dynamics in '96. Following up Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, remember my friend telling me about that game, in '99, developed by Crystal Dynamics and directed by Amy Hennig, who went on to write and direct Naughty Dog's Uncharted series, the 3D action adventure sequel in which players assume the role of Vampire Raziel, that is a fallen angel name, on a revenge mission to destroy his creator Kain, which critically acclaimed and received several follow-ups, with 2003's Legacy of Kain Defiance, the most recent entry in the series. And in 2022, recent Crystal Dynamics, because they're butchering Lara Croft, received an overwhelming response to a survey designed to gauge interest in a potential Legacy of Kain revival. And that is all that the article had to say. I mean, if they don't butcher anything, that'll be awesome. That is definitely a series I've wanted to play. So, looks like it's possible the remasters are coming. And with that, that's really all the articles that caught my interest today. So we had some good news, Legacy of Kain remasters. Hopefully it doesn't suck or they don't fuck it up in any way, shape, or form. What else do we got here? Anything else? Apparently these are the recent ones. Raid exclusive Dondozo is coming out to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. The Lego Shadow the Hedgehog bust is coming in October. Legacy or Lego. Oh, yeah, I saw this. This was actually pretty cool. So the set, images of which are circulating on X before an official reveal later today. That would be the Lego Super Mario set depicting Mario and Yoshi from Super Mario World. So apparently, rather than a playset, this Lego set shows a side-on image of the sprite from the game. The legs can move using a crank in the side of the Lego set. I did see a video of this. There you go. So yeah, he walks, sticks out his tongue. Mario just riding along. That's actually really cool. The set is expected to launch in October. Pricing isn't currently officially available, but it's expected to cost around $200 based on previous listings for the set. The new set was shown alongside the upcoming Lego The Legend of Zelda Great Deku Tree set. It will come with 2,500 pieces and will be released on September 1st. It will cost $300 and a choice between two designs. The the first design replicates The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and then Breath of the Wild. After years of fan request, this will be the first. Yeah, we read about this one, so there you go. Right there. Would I really pay like a lot of money for that? I personally wouldn't. I feel like that point that you should just buy an already made like set. But I guess you could say that the juice is worth the squeeze because you're making it yourself as opposed to just already getting it pre-made. But I don't know. I feel like you could find other stuff as well. There's the Shadow the Hedgehog one too. But there you guys go. Some good news for today. Obviously with some other stuff as well. So thanks for hanging out with me. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to hit that subscribe and like button and turn on notifications to get notified when I go live. Let's see. Anybody online? I might hop on maybe later tonight just to do some gaming. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. So all the more reason to turn on notifications and to subscribe so that you can get notified if I do go live. If not, we will be online, I'm sure, tomorrow. So anyway, you guys have a good rest of your night. Take care. God bless. And I will catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.